One morning you walk into your bathroom. The mirror is still covered with a thin layer of fog from last night's shower. Tiny droplets cling to the glass. In the corner of the ceiling, a few small black spots are beginning to appear. You cleaned this bathroom not long ago. So why does it already feel like everything is returning to the same old problem? Most people assume a bathroom gets dirty because they aren't using the right cleaner or scrubbing hard enough. But what if the real problem isn't dirt at all? What if the biggest reason mold and musty odors keep coming back is the moisture that's quietly left behind after every shower? That simple idea explains why some bathrooms stay fresh and dry, even though they aren't cleaned nearly as often. It's not because the homeowners have discovered some miracle cleaning product. It's because they approach the problem differently. In this video, we'll explore that approach by combining practical habits commonly found in many Japanese homes with easy-to-understand science, so you can see why one small change after every shower could dramatically reduce the amount of cleaning you'll need in the future. And by the end, you may never look at your bathroom the same way again. There's a cycle that plays out in countless homes, and chances are you've experienced it yourself. You notice a few dark spots along the grout lines or in the corner of the ceiling. You spend part of your weekend scrubbing every surface until the bathroom looks spotless again. For a while, everything seems perfect. Then, just a few weeks later, those same black spots begin to return in exactly the same places. It's frustrating enough to make you think you bought the wrong cleaner or didn't scrub hard enough. But in reality, you may have been treating the symptom instead of the cause. Imagine your bathroom as a small garden. If the soil stays damp, the air barely moves, and sunlight rarely reaches the ground, weeds will eventually grow back, no matter how carefully you remove them. Mold behaves in much the same way. It doesn't need a filthy bathroom to survive. It only needs the right environment. And unfortunately, the average bathroom provides almost everything it needs. Every hot shower fills the room with warm, humid air. That moisture settles onto mirrors, walls, ceilings, tile, grout, and every other cool surface it touches. If the moisture isn't removed quickly enough, those surfaces can remain damp for hours after you've already left the room. That quiet stretch of time is often where the real problem begins. What's interesting is that many homeowners spend far more time searching for stronger cleaning products than asking a much simpler question. How long does my bathroom actually stay wet after every shower? That question marks the difference between cleaning a problem and preventing one. In many Japanese households, especially in regions that experience long rainy seasons and high humidity, people develop simple daily habits that help the bathroom dry much faster after each use. It's not because they enjoy cleaning more. It's because they understand that when the environment changes, mold loses the conditions it depends on. The best part is that this approach doesn't rely on expensive products or complicated routines. It starts with one simple observation that most people never make. After you step out of the shower, does your bathroom become dry within 15 minutes, within an hour, or does it stay damp until the next morning? The answer to that single question leads directly to the real cause of the problem. And it explains why so many cleaning routines never seem to produce lasting results. Once you look a little closer, you'll realize that mold never appears overnight. It follows a very predictable chain of events. First comes moisture, then comes time. Finally, it finds a surface where it can settle and grow. When those three conditions come together, a bathroom gradually becomes the perfect environment for mold, even if it still looks perfectly clean to the naked eye. That's also why two bathrooms can be cleaned exactly the same way, yet produce completely different results. Imagine two bath towels that were used at the same time. One is spread flat on a towel rack where fresh air can circulate freely. The other is tossed into a pile or draped over the edge of the bathtub. A few hours later, the first towel is almost completely dry, while the second one is still damp and may even start developing a musty smell. The difference isn't the towel itself. It's how quickly the moisture is able to leave the fabric. Your bathroom works in exactly the same way. Every hot shower releases millions of tiny water droplets into the air as invisible water vapor. When that warm vapor touches cooler surfaces like mirrors, tile walls, ceilings, or glass doors, it condenses back into liquid water. Those droplets may seem harmless, but if the room has poor ventilation or very little air movement, they can remain there much longer than you realize. During that time, grout lines, silicone caulk, and hidden corners tend to stay damp longer than smooth surfaces. That's why mold usually appears there first. What's surprising is that mold doesn't need standing water to grow. It only needs a thin layer of moisture that remains long enough. That's why you can wipe the floor dry and still find mold growing around the ceiling, behind the bathroom door, or in the corners that rarely catch your attention. This is where a maintenance mindset becomes incredibly valuable. In many Japanese homes, people focus on shortening the amount of time surfaces stay wet, instead of waiting until mold becomes visible and then trying to remove it. That approach aligns perfectly with basic environmental science and material science. The faster moisture evaporates, the less opportunity mold has to establish itself. This doesn't mean mold spores disappear completely. Mold spores are naturally present in the air almost everywhere. The real difference is that without enough moisture for long enough, they struggle to multiply and spread. Once you understand that principle, you begin to see your bathroom differently. The most effective solution often isn't buying another bottle of powerful cleaner. It's changing what happens during the first few minutes after every shower. Once you understand that moisture is the real issue, your entire approach begins to change. Instead of focusing on cleaning after the problem appears, the goal becomes helping your bathroom dry as quickly as possible after every shower. It sounds almost too simple, but those first few minutes after you turn off the water often determine whether moisture disappears quickly or lingers for hours. Let's start with one of the easiest habits. Don't leave the bathroom and immediately shut everything down. If your bathroom has an exhaust fan, let it continue running for a while after you've finished showering. Many people switch it off the moment they walk out because they assume its job is done. In reality, that's when the fan is often doing its most important work. The air is still filled with moisture, and the fan continues pulling humid air outside while allowing drier air to replace it. If your bathroom has a window and the weather is suitable, opening it for a short time can also improve air circulation. However, this isn't always the best solution. On hot summer days or during periods of high outdoor humidity, the air outside may already contain a large amount of moisture. In those situations, a properly functioning exhaust fan often provides more consistent results than simply opening a window. Another small habit can make a surprisingly big difference. After every shower, use a simple squeegee to remove the water from your shower glass or glass door. Most people think this is only about preventing water spots, but the real benefit goes much deeper. Every drop you remove is water that no longer has to evaporate into the room. Less water on the surface means less moisture remaining in the air, allowing the bathroom to dry much faster. Think about washing two identical cars. One is carefully dried with a microfiber towel, while the other is left to air dry on its own. Eventually, both cars become dry, but the one you wipe down reaches that point much sooner and usually ends up with fewer watermarks. Your bathroom follows the same principle. Another detail many homeowners overlook is the shower curtain and the bath towels. If the shower curtain is left bunched together, the folds trap moisture and dry very slowly. Simply pulling the curtain fully open exposes more surface area to the air, allowing it to dry much faster. The same idea applies to towels. Instead of folding them over themselves or leaving them on the edge of the tub, hang them flat so air can circulate around both sides. Every surface hidden beneath another layer stays damp much longer, adding unnecessary moisture back into the room. The bathroom door is another factor worth considering. Many people automatically close it as soon as they leave because it feels cleaner and keeps humidity from spreading into the rest of the house. In some homes, that's the right choice. But if your bathroom has limited ventilation, closing the door immediately can trap humid air inside for hours. In that situation, leaving the door slightly open for a while, whenever privacy and your home's layout allow, can improve airflow significantly. The key isn't following one universal rule. It's understanding how your own bathroom behaves and adjusting your routine accordingly. Many experienced homeowners simply observe how long their bathroom takes to become completely dry and then build their habits around that observation. There's one more simple practice that's often ignored. Take just a few seconds to wipe the places where water tends to collect, such as the edge of the sink, the corners of the bathtub, the silicone seams, or the lower tracks of a shower door. You don't need to dry every inch of the room. Removing water from the areas that stay wet the longest can dramatically shorten the overall drying time. This reflects a maintenance philosophy that's common in many Japanese households. Spend a little time preventing a problem instead of spending much more time fixing it later. What's fascinating is that none of these habits is particularly powerful on its own, but together they create an environment where mold has far fewer opportunities to grow. Your bathroom dries faster, musty odors become less noticeable, mold returns less frequently. Cleaning becomes easier because you're preventing the conditions that allow the problem to develop in the first place. You can't eliminate moisture completely after a shower, and you don't need to. What matters is reducing how long that moisture stays behind. That single shift in thinking can transform the way you care for your bathroom. But even after adopting these habits, there are still several common mistakes that quietly undo all your progress. What's interesting is that most bathroom mistakes don't come from laziness. They come from habits that seem completely reasonable. And because those habits feel logical, People repeat them for years without realizing they're actually helping moisture stick around longer. One of the biggest mistakes is assuming that a fresh smell means a clean bathroom. Many people spray an air freshener or use scented products after every shower, then feel confident the room is in great shape. But fragrance only changes what you smell. It doesn't reduce the moisture floating in the air or trapped on surfaces. A bathroom can smell wonderful while still providing the perfect environment for mold to grow. That's why you can walk into a beautifully scented bathroom and still notice black spots forming around the grout or near the ceiling. Another common mistake is focusing only on the places you can easily see. When mold appears on the shower glass or tile walls, that's usually where all the attention goes. But the dampest areas are often hidden behind the shower curtain, beneath the edge of the sink, around silicone caulk, behind the toilet, or inside corners where air rarely circulates. These forgotten spaces tend to stay wet much longer, making them the first places where mold begins to grow. Once it establishes itself there, it gradually spreads to more visible areas. Another misunderstanding is believing that stronger cleaning chemicals always produce better results. High-quality cleaners certainly have their place, especially when removing existing mold. However, using aggressive chemicals too frequently or without following the manufacturer's instructions can gradually wear down certain materials. Silicone seals may begin to crack. Protective finishes can deteriorate. Tiny gaps can form where moisture becomes trapped even more easily. Ironically, trying to fight mold more aggressively can sometimes create better conditions for it to return later. Many homeowners also assume this is only a problem in older bathrooms. In reality, a newly renovated bathroom with brand new tile, modern fixtures, and fresh grout can develop mold just as quickly if humid air remains trapped inside every day. On the other hand, an older bathroom can stay remarkably clean for years when simple maintenance habits consistently keep moisture under control. The age of the bathroom isn't usually the deciding factor. The environment inside it is. Perhaps the most common mistake of all is searching for a product that promises to solve everything. Modern marketing has trained us to believe there's always a spray, a cleaner, or a special formula that will eliminate the problem in minutes. As a result, many people spend hours comparing cleaning products but hesitate to spend 30 seconds using a squeegee or leaving the exhaust fan running a little longer. Cleaning products can absolutely help remove existing mold, but they can't replace the basic science of moisture control and airflow. Once you understand that, your goal changes completely. Instead of fighting mold once a month, you begin creating an environment where mold struggles to grow every single day. It's a small shift in perspective, but it leads to a much bigger change in results. The best part is that you don't need to remodel your bathroom or invest in expensive equipment. A few simple adjustments to your daily routine can make a noticeable difference over time. Now imagine tomorrow morning. You wake up, get ready for work, or ease into a quiet weekend like you always do. After your shower, instead of stepping out and forgetting about the bathroom, you spend less than a minute helping the room recover. You run a squeegee across the shower glass. You hang your towel flat instead of folding it over itself. You pull the shower curtain all the way open so air can reach every part of it. If your bathroom has an exhaust fan, you let it keep running for a little while. If the weather and your home's layout allow, you leave the door slightly open or crack a window to improve airflow. None of these actions feels like a major chore. In fact, each one takes only a few seconds. But together, they're doing something much more important than cleaning. They're shortening the amount of time moisture stays inside the room. At first, you probably won't notice a dramatic difference. After a few days, everything may seem exactly the same. But after a couple of weeks, you'll likely begin to see subtle changes. The mirror clears more quickly. Damp corners dry sooner. That familiar musty smell becomes less noticeable. When it's finally time for your regular cleaning routine, you may find that mold hasn't had the chance to build up the way it used to. Scrubbing becomes easier because there's simply less to remove. What's remarkable is that you're not spending more time maintaining your bathroom. You're simply moving a small amount of effort from occasional deep cleaning to daily prevention. That's the heart of a maintenance mindset. Instead of waiting until something becomes a problem, you make small adjustments that keep problems from becoming bigger in the first place. It's a philosophy many people appreciate because it's sustainable. It doesn't rely on motivation or complicated routines. It relies on small habits that are easy to repeat day after day. If your bathroom tends to stay damp for hours after every shower, don't feel like you need to change everything at once. Start with just one habit this week. Maybe it's using a squeegee. Maybe it's letting the exhaust fan run a little longer. Or maybe it's simply paying attention to how long your bathroom actually takes to become completely dry. That single observation can tell you more about your bathroom than any cleaning product ever could. Once you begin seeing your bathroom as an environment that needs to be managed instead of just a room that needs to be cleaned, many of your daily decisions become surprisingly simple. Let's go back to the image we started with. A foggy mirror, water clinging to the shower glass, and a few dark spots slowly appearing in the corner of the ceiling. By now, those signs probably don't seem so mysterious anymore. You've seen that the real problem isn't the dirt you can see. It's the moisture you can't. Once you understand that simple principle, your entire approach to bathroom maintenance changes. Instead of constantly searching for a stronger cleaner, you begin focusing on helping the room dry faster, stay better ventilated, and become less inviting for mold in the first place. This isn't a secret technique, and it's certainly not something unique to Japan. It's a practical way of thinking about home maintenance that's common in many households and supported by straightforward scientific principles. Sometimes the smartest way to save time isn't by cleaning harder. It's by preventing the problem before it has the chance to grow. If this video inspires you to spend just 1 extra minute helping your bathroom dry after every shower, there's a good chance you'll spend far less time scrubbing mold and mildew in the months ahead. Small daily habits often lead to the biggest long-term results.